Hi, this is Partha Khan and welcome to my channel. As most of you are aware that I mostly shoot and create videos relating to nature and wildlife, travel, city life, etc. This particular video is going to be something absolutely different by nature, as it deals with some political issues associated with the reconstruction of TALA Bridge in North Kolkata. I had already created a video on demolition of the old TALA Bridge, which many of you have already seen, and I received a lot of requests from many of my viewers and subscribers who are eager to see the present work status of the same. So friends, definitely I'd like to show you the latest position of the place, but in this connection, at the same time, I would like to make each one of you aware of the traumatizing inconveniences caused by this to the permanent local residents like me. And it will also reveal how indifferent and unconcerned our local political authorities are to the horrifying inconveniences faced by genuine citizens like us. That's what happens in West Bengal. That's the current trend. So at the same time, be prepared to witness heaps and heaps of garbage which I had to shoot with acute irritation. So without wasting much further time, let's get into the video. So friends, this is how the place looks like after the old TALA Bridge is grounded. It might be difficult to recognize this place at a glance if you happen to visit the place after a long time. TALA Bridge, which used to divide the area in two colonies on either side of it, now reveals a completely different picture of the same spot by joining the two colonies from ground level. So buildings on both colonies are now visible from either side of the place. Even the trains are also visible on the railway track side, which earlier used to be behind the railway boundary wall. Demolition work of the entire bridge was possible so fast, mainly due to the lockdown scenario for a stretch of 3 months. The reconstruction work of the bridge is mainly conducted by L&T, that is Larsen & Toubro. Besides this, there are various other groups of companies like Unauthorised Construction, CESC, etc., who are also involved in the relocation of lots of underground pipes and cables running parallel with TALA Bridge. Initially, I didn't find any difficulty in terms of road condition as the work process was restricted within the middle portion of the road. But as time passed, especially towards end of June this year, things started changing for worse. Firstly, it was by CESC that the service road on this side was totally spoiled by their underground cable laying work that continued over a month. During this period, the road was absolutely unusable, as you can see here, and we couldn't even have access to even any emergency services. After the CESC work was completed, there was hardly a gap of about 2 weeks when the road was accessible, and then came this Unauthorised Construction company that started digging the ground again for their underground micro cable insertion work. And this time, with continuous rainfall of this season, in addition, the road condition was literally converted to hell. You can see the pathetic, horrific condition of the service road on this side here. And you can also observe that the entire nuisance is done on this side of the area only, whereas the other side of the same area is left totally unaffected. If you ask any of the so-called political authorities here, they will tell you that the other side of the area is attached to Arjikar Hospital emergency area, which is why it is left undisturbed. Then what does it mean? It simply indicates that people living on this side belong to non-emergency zone, as if they can't even have any sort of emergency. And even if they need any emergency service, they won't be able to avail it. So that's the current scenario. If you want to see what an absolute hell would look like, then you need to visit the present condition of this locality, caused by the horrifying, life-threatening work process of TALA Bridge. Not even the minimum convenience is kept for normal daily movement of public, nor have they left any provision for a small car or other emergency vehicles to pass through this area. And this Atindra Construction Company simply cannot even specify any time limit for completion of this road digging project. So this menacing public inconvenience is going on month after month with no signs of road improvement. This entire area is in a horrible mess with heaps and heaps of mud, garbage, materials dumped here and there, where people need to walk with a hell lot of risk, as anyone may stumble, slip or fall elsewhere with chances of serious injury. Informing the situation to the local political authorities has been of no use, as they deliberately avoid to give any solution. Now, where are the media men? No media person ever arrived on this spot to present this horrible ongoing scenario to public through television channels. The horrifying scenario of nuisance at the spot is also unpredictable by nature. Let me share one such experience of my own. With my several requests to the L&T personnel, they had created a makeshift passage for car movement at one side, through which I took my mom to the doctor one afternoon. Few hours later, as we returned home through the same place, I found that passage being spoiled again by erratic movements of these heavyweight cranes, and we were stuck right there until these L&T personnel repaired the passage on my telephonic request using a JCB roller vehicle. So the situation is such that even if I'm able to move through the spot by car now, I don't know what will I have to face when I return. And since I don't have any alternate passage other than these to go by car, you can imagine the traumatic inconvenience myself and my elderly mother have to face each time. Have you ever seen in any civilized country that a public property like bridge is constructed while blocking all emergency services and conveniences of people residing in that particular locality? Unfortunately, all such things can happen in third world countries like India, and especially in the state of West Bengal, presently the worst state in India politically, where media and police administration are simply purchased by ruling political parties, causing public inconvenience by digging roads and then leaving the damaged roads without repair. These are part and parcel of West Bengal culture. So friends, today I'm going to show you a aerial view of the entire place and what's happening in this area, in this TALA bridge area. You can see the full aerial view from here. The TALA bridge, it starts from there. So from there it goes like that, the work is going like that. This is how it goes. You can see log gate bridge in the distance, and that is the railway track side. Yeah. So watch the full video where you can see what exactly is happening in this place, the nuisance that we are facing every day. Well, let's check out what all are visible from this 8th floor rooftop view. There, in the distance, you can see Lockheed flyover, which is serving as an alternative to the former TALA bridge. People who need to travel from Chiriamore, Shinthimore, Dunlop, etc. towards Shyambazar or vice versa can use this route for the time being. Look there, you can see the distant Howrah Bridge and Vidyasagar Bridge as well. And wow, even the faraway 42 building is also visible from here. And so are visible many other eminent tall buildings of Kolkata from here. Looks like almost half the city is visible from here. That's the magic of climbing heights. The higher you go, the broader gets your vision, and nearly everything seems to come together at one place at a time. As told by the L&T personnel, the target for completing the new TALA bridge is set at 18 months' time, starting from August 2020. But the real picture lies in the hands of time. Well, coming to the point of inconveniences faced by the local people caused by this reconstruction work of the bridge, here from the top also you can see the difference in road condition between the two colonies. One side has enough space for people and vehicles to pass through, that is, the service road is kept intact, while the other side is left with nothing but mud and garbage like some kind of trap. However, the L&T personnel are more cooperative than the workers of Atindra Construction Company, the road digging and damaging experts who are totally clueless about their own work and cannot even confirm any specific time frame for completion of this project. Another thing to note in this connection is that on the Paikpara side of this TALA bridge construction area, what I can find is that the service road on both sides are kept intact and it's not causing any inconvenience to the local people out there. As you can see in the visuals, both the service roads are kept intact over there in this area. On this side you can see the Boro 1 office of the Kolkata Municipal Corporation, and on the other side is the TALA pumping station. On both these sides, the service roads are kept absolutely fine, causing no inconvenience to the local people out here. Whereas the condition on this side where I am residing, that is towards the Shyambazar end, it's just the opposite scenario as I have just shown you. That is causing menacing inconvenience to the local people, and that goes without any solution for months. We fail to understand why this particular spot is chosen for all this nuisance. Well, now how could I miss out to mention another major issue associated with TALA bridge reconstruction? This is something that everyone should know while watching videos relating to TALA bridge reconstruction. And this is something that no media personnel will ever show in their respective television channels. Come, let me show you. But before I get into the details of the fact of what all are happening here over last 1 year, let me introduce you to the place of this horrifying nuisance. Well friends, as you can see from the top view, as you can see through the arrows, this is the passage that belongs to the Eastern Railway Authority. And it's the passage that connects BT Road or TALA Bridge with Chitpur Railway Yard. And this is the passage that I use for my everyday movement on my way to home and out. So friends, what you see over here, these plastic shelters on this portion of the road is the thing that I'm going to talk about. September 26, 2019. That was the date when a large community of unauthorized slum dwellers that used to live right under the former TALA bridge were suddenly shifted to this railway passage I was just talking about, despite objection from railway police force. Out of more than 200 slum families that used to live there, 24 families were placed on the front portion of this railway passage purely on temporary basis for 3 months. That's what I heard right from the beginning, by request from state government to Eastern Railway Authority. However, Eastern Railway agreed to this request from the state without any written official contract and allowed these slum people to live in temporary shelters made of bamboos and plastic. Given this opportunity once, these slum people built each shelter about 10 feet in length, thus covering 70% of the road space, as you can see in these visuals. Remaining 30% of the free space as common passage for public movement also got somewhat badly occupied by their belongings, etc. For a moment, take a look at the same passage to understand how and what it used to be and what it has become now. Not only this, but within 3 months' time, these slummers also procured a stay order from High Court with the help of political parties. After several months, when Eastern Railway Police Force gave them an eviction notice from this railway land, they simply showed their High Court stay order, and hence Railway Authority couldn't remove these unauthorized dwellers. Although these slum people are placed on railway land, but nowhere in that stay order it is mentioned that they are residing on railway land, and that is the duplicity. So it is obvious that this stay order itself is contradictory and was passed without even informing the Eastern Railway Authority. Now the situation is such that these unauthorized slum dwellers are fully authorized by the court, and neither Railway Authority can evict them from their land, nor the state or KMC will rehabilitate them in some other place. So automatically and unofficially, these people are getting permanent habitation status in this railway land. Just imagine the situation, what is happening through all this political influence. The political people, the so-called political leaders, parties, they all support these obnoxious slum people for their own interest, which is an open secret. Now let me show you how my own life is getting so pathetically affected due to this encroachment on this passage by these obnoxious slum people. First of all emergency services are simply blocked, as the narrow free space beside these plastic shelters cannot accommodate large vehicles like fire brigade, big ambulance, sewage tank cleaners, etc. Neither a doctor can come properly with a small car. Secondly, extreme inconvenience even for small private cars, taxi, etc. to pass through this narrow space, as most of the time the place is filled with their belongings. Apparently, we need to pass through the passage at their mercy. So each time a car has to pass through the passage, we have to ask these people to remove their things that are kept on the passage. Thirdly, they commit all sorts of nuisance on this passage, including nature calls, etc. And in these times of COVID and lockdown, they just follow no hygiene, like wearing masks, social distancing, etc. These slum people are actually silent carriers of the disease, and it's highly risky to pass by their side through the said passage. Even the railway police people also do not make much movements nowadays through this passage due to this. So it has become kind of a no man's land, and these slummers are simply ruling. Walking on the surface of this passage is equally a horrible experience, just like driving a small car through this passage. So guys, you can see we are almost about to collide with these slum shelters, like the way they are storing their things on the common passage, which are scattered here and there. So the situation is like that. Each time we have to tell them, remove this, remove that, and that too they will do at their own sweet will. That's the scenario, okay? You can see it for yourself how good it has become. For my mom to go out to anywhere else, I have to take her by car because she cannot walk for a long distance. So whenever we are going out through this passage, we have to face some horrifying experiences with these slummers. How can they think of blocking the passage? It's a common public passage. They just can't think of blocking. They are bound to move away. Why do we have to tell them each time to remove all those things whenever we are passing through this passage?
অন্য কোনো জায়গায় রাখো, গাড়ি যাওয়ার জায়গাটা রাখো।
ঘরে কাজ হচ্ছে, রাস্তাটা ব্লক করে হবে, রাস্তাটা ব্লক করে হবে ঘরের কাজটা।
রাস্তাটা ছেড়ে যা করার,
ঘরের কাজটা রাস্তা ব্লক করে হবে। যাও তুমি যাও, আমি দেখছি, পরে দেখছি। যাও
আটকে যাবে, এইসব জায়গা আছে, আটকে যাবে।
In the context of this nuisance, I had a telephonic conversation with the Borowan chairman, Mr. Tarun Saha, and let me just share with you guys what all he had to say about this. Listen to what he says.
Hello. গুড ইভিনিং, আমি পার্থ খান বলছিলাম এই 6 নম্বর ওয়ার্ড থেকে। হ্যাঁ, সারা রাস্তা ব্লক করে ওরা ওখানে রাস্তার মাঝখানে রান্না করছে, মানে যা পারছে তাই করছে। তা এই যে জিনিসগুলো এখানে হচ্ছে, এইটা আর কতদিন কন্টিনিউ হবে? এটা তো এই ঝুপড়িটা, এই 24টা ঘরটা নিয়ে আপনি কি চিন্তা করছেন? আপনি 1 বছর লাগবে ওদেরটা শুরু করাতে। না না, এইটা তো 1 বছর এরকম ভাবে, 1 বছর তো হয়ে গেছে, 1 বছর ওদের কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে এখানে। হ্যাঁ, এই 1 বছর হতে চলেছে না, 25 সেপ্টেম্বর ওদের এখানে 1 বছর কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে। ওদের এখানে 3 মাস 6 মাসের জন্য টাইম দেওয়া হয়েছে। আমরা পাচ্ছি না, সাবস্টিটিউট করে জায়গা নিয়ে আমরা দেখছি, চেষ্টা করে আপনি যেটা বলছেন সেটাকে যদি কাটতে করতে পারি। না না, একটু দেখুন না যে খালপাড়ে বা ওই সব সাইডগুলো জায়গা নেই কোথাও, তাহলে তো হয়ে যেত। তাহলে অন্য একটা কোনো রাস্তা নিশ্চয়ই, মানে এটা আপনারা বের করুন। এই রাস্তাটাকে আপনারা একটুখানি ব্যবস্থা করুন। করা যায়, আমি দেখছি, পুলিশের সাথে কথা বলে। হ্যাঁ, ওকে ওকে।
Well, listen to what my mom has to say about all these nuisance. শুনুন ওনার কথা।
এই যে টালা ব্রিজের কাজের জন্যে, হ্যাঁ, ধরুন রাস্তার যা অবস্থা, আমরা কষ্ট স্বীকার করছি, জানি যেটা কিছুদিন বাদে 2-1 মাস পরে আমার ঠিক হয়ে যাবে, সবাইকে কষ্ট করতে হবে, ঠিক আছে, করা হচ্ছে। কিন্তু এই টালা ব্রিজের ইস্যু নিয়ে যে ঝুপড়িবাসী বস্তিবাসীকে আমাদের পুরো প্যাসেজের মধ্যে বসিয়ে দেওয়া হয়েছে প্লাস্টিকের ঘর করে করে, রেলের রাস্তা এটা, আমরা প্রত্যেক ইয়ারলি এখানে টাকা দিই, হ্যাঁ, তাদের পেমেন্ট করি, আমরা আমাদের এখানে ট্যাক্সের কাউন্সিলরকে ভোট দিই, সবই করি, অথচ আমাদের দিক না দেখে ওনারা ওনাদের ইচ্ছে মতো এইখানে ঝুপড়িবাসী বস্তিবাসীকে এখানে পুরো লাইন ধরে 24টা আপনার পরিবারকে বসানো হয়েছে। এবার আপনারা ইমাজিন করুন, এই যে বস্তিবাসী, এদের নেচার কি হতে পারে? রাস্তা, অর্ধেক রাস্তা জুড়ে গেছে, ওদের খাওয়া পড়া, রাস্তায় বসছে, রাস্তায় সব কিছু করছে। এখন আমি একটা মহিলা, আমার ছেলে হাঁটাচলা করে, হ্যাঁ, এখান দিয়ে ইমার্জেন্সি যেতে হয়, অফিস যেতে হয়, কাজে বেরোতে হয়। তারপরে আমার বাড়িতে আমার নিজস্ব আত্মীয় স্বজন, আমার মেয়ে আসা যাওয়া আছে, আমার ডাক্তার আসা যাওয়া আছে, আমার গ্যাসের সিলিন্ডার আসা যাওয়া আছে, ইমার্জেন্সি সমস্ত জিনিস আমার এদের জন্য বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে। তাহলে ভাবুন, এই যে বস্তিবাসীদের, এই যে ঝুপড়িপটিদের এইভাবে এখানে মানে শুনেছিলাম যে এটা 3 মাসের জন্যে, এখন তো দেখছি এদের কোনো সিনই নেই, এরা এইভাবে নিজেরা। আর একটা কোথা থেকে কোর্টে একটা অর্ডার পাস করিয়ে নিয়ে এসছে, সমস্ত নিজেদের মতো নিজেরা শো করে ওটা করিয়ে এনেছে যাতে লোকে কিছু নেই, কিন্তু আমরা জানি এটা যাতে ওদের তুলতে না পারে, কিন্তু এটা আনঅথরাইজড। কিন্তু এই জিনিস দিনের পর দিন, আপনারা বলুন, দিনের পর দিন একটা পরিবার, আমাদের এখান দিয়ে যাতায়াতের জায়গা, ইমার্জেন্সি গাড়ি একটা ঢুকতে পারে না। আমি কিভাবে রয়েছি ভাবুন, হ্যাঁ, আমি তো একটা এখানকার বাসিন্দা, হ্যাঁ, নাগরিক। আমি এই ঝুপড়ি আর এদের এই নেচার, এদের যদি ভদ্রলোকের মতো স্বাভাবিক সব কিছু হতো তাহলে কিছুদিন কষ্ট করছি, আচ্ছা আরও দেখি, কিন্তু এরা তো তা না। এরা হচ্ছে অত্যন্ত অমানুষ, অত্যন্ত মানে কি বলবো, অসামাজিক লোক। এরা পারে না এমন কাজই, গরিব সেজে থাকে, এদের সমস্ত রকম ফেসিলিটি এখান থেকে দেওয়া হচ্ছে, কিন্তু আমরা মধ্যবিত্ত পরিবার কিচ্ছু পাচ্ছি না। আর আপনারা বিচার করুন তো যে এই জিনিসটা চলতে দেওয়া আর কি ঠিক? আমি কিসের মধ্যে আছি? তারপরে তো টালা ব্রিজের রাস্তার ওখানে তো যাই হোক হয়ে আছে, অসুবিধে হলেও হচ্ছে জানি, 2 দিন পর হোক 4 দিন, তারপরে সামনে পুজো আসছে। এইরকম পরিস্থিতির মধ্যে কি করা যায়, আমি কোন দিকে কি স্টেপ নেব, এইটা নিয়ে আপনাদের সঙ্গে আমার একটু শেয়ার করলাম। রেল যদি এখন কিছু করে তাহলে সেটা, রেলকেও বলা হয়েছে, ওরা অনেক চেষ্টা করেছেন ওনারা, কিন্তু কি বলবো, এদের এমনই একটা ক্লাস যে এদের সঙ্গে মানুষ তো পারে না, আপনারা নিশ্চয়ই বোঝেন।
So friends, all this I had to show here in this video because all these situations arisen just because of the Tala Bridge issue. Ever since the demolition of the bridge was planned and ever since these slum people were shifted from under the Tala Bridge to this railway passage. They used to live unauthorized in that place also, and now here also they are living as unauthorized people. But the difference is here they have procured a stay order from the court so that nobody can remove them, nobody can evict them from this place, and they can just do anything else they wish here. So that's the current scenario I thought I must share with you all. Okay, because myself and my elderly mom, whenever we are going out through this place by a small car, we have to face all these traumatic nuisance and inconveniences just because of the existence of these obnoxious slum people. I don't know what will happen after the Tala Bridge will be built in this place, but I guess these slum people will continue to exist here the same way and nothing good is going to happen in this area. Rather, I guess this place is going to get worse and worse with time. Thanks for watching. See you with another new edition of Kolkata series. Till then, everybody stay safe and take care.